Hello and welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. So glad you're here today. Let's take a look at this article, The FSA Halted Student Loan Servicer Reviews. First, just a quick reminder that anytime you hear a topic, an article, anything at all, you can find all the resources, the links, and everything you could possibly want to know about it at thecollegeinvestor.com. Also, like us, follow us, ask questions, get to know us. We'd love to help you wherever you are in your money journey. On social media, just type in the words The College Investor and you'll find us. Okay, let's take a look at this. The federal government quietly stopped independently checking whether student loan servicers are keeping accurate borrower records and stopped monitoring the quality of calls with borrowers in February of 2025. More than a year later, still hasn't resumed those reviews, according to a new report released by the Government Accountability Office. So the findings come at a very precarious moment for the nearly 43 million Americans with federal student loans. Major repayment plan changes are underway. We've been talking about it for months. Millions of borrowers are in or even approaching default, and the very oversight designed to catch servicer errors has just gone dark. For an administration that is allegedly focused on reducing waste and fraud, it's concerning that government contractors overseeing a $1 trillion portfolio of loans impacting 43 million Americans are not being closely monitored or held accountable at all. Here's what FSA stopped directly monitoring. The Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid contracts with 5 companies, private companies, to service the federal student loan portfolio: AidVantage, CRI, Ed Financial, Mohila, and Nelnet. These servicers handle billing, process loan payments, maintain borrower records, field borrower calls after repayment options and forgiveness programs, and all that stuff. Under the existing contracts, FSA is required to conduct quarterly performance reviews across 6 metrics: accuracy, call quality, call abandon rate, customer satisfaction, timeliness of completion of certain servicing tasks, and financial monitoring. If servicers fall short of standards, FSA can levy financial penalties against them. In February 2025, assessments specifically related to accuracy and call quality were stopped. So accuracy refers to ensuring that data for borrowers and loan servicers' systems matched the data in FSA's systems. The goal would be to ensure accurate records, right? Call quality is when FSA would review borrower phone calls and determine if the loan servicers were providing good and accurate customer service. That's a good thing. We should be reviewing this stuff. According to the GAO report, again, the Government Accountability Office, agency officials said the suspension was due to lack of FSA staff capacity, a problem that traces directly to workforce cuts that began when the Trump administration issued directives to downsize and eliminate the Department of Education. FSA started 2025 with 1,433 employees. By December, that number had fallen to 777 people, a 46% reduction. The assessments that stopped happening, the GAO noted, are more labor-intensive than other types of oversight that have been automated. In September 2025, FSA officials told the GAO the agency was exploring, quote, more efficient oversight methods and possible changes to performance standards. But as of December of 25, no replacement methods have been implemented and no changes to performance standards had been made. Grr. So here's what the DOE is actually doing. The department says it is focused on loan servicer performance. According to a statement provided to the College Investor by Ellen Keast, Press Secretary for Higher Education, long quote, but here it is. FSA utilizes a variety of methods to rigorously assess loan servicer call quality and accuracy. As detailed in ED's response to GAO, the agency uses data quality assessments, cross-system assessment, data validation, daily and weekly performance reporting from servicers, weekly executive-level check-in meetings, and borrower satisfaction surveys to monitor and improve the customer service delivered by our vendors. The Undersecretary and Acting COO have also visited loan servicers personally, unlike the previous administration, to deepen these important agency partnerships. End quote. I like the little dig in the unlike the previous administration. Anyway, oh, government people, gotta love them. Maybe. So in that response to the GAO, the Department of Education determined that, quote, a better approach is to provide substantial oversight through additional activities that measure the accuracy of servicer data, and the quality of their performance. For example, FSA uses servicer satisfaction surveys that score the servicer's performance across 5 measures, each for borrower communications, contact center, and website support, as well as 6 measures for the servicer's management of loans, end quote. Okay, that's a good response. However, Representative Robert C. Bobby Scott said in a statement, and I quote, the Education Department, ED, in its oversight of the $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio, is required by law to ensure that student loan servicers provide borrowers with accurate information about their loans. When they do not, borrowers can either overpay or be placed in the wrong student loan repayment program. ED's refusal to conduct oversight of student loan servicers is a dereliction of duty, especially because when ED conducted oversight under the Biden administration, it issued penalties to servicers when it found 4 out of 5 failed to meet basic accuracy standards. Moreover, I am gravely concerned that ED incorrectly believes it can replace real oversight of servicers with untested automation or artificial intelligence. End quote. I'm sure he had that tone. I think I accurately represented that. And what's with the gravely? Gravely means like you're deathly concerned. Like you're gonna die with all the concern that you have. Anyway, it is a big deal, I know, but some of this stuff is kind of goofy. Student loan servicers were already falling short before this oversight ended anyway. A big concern is that multiple servicers were already having a whole bunch of problems before the performance review stopped. The GAO found that in the 2 quarters FSA managed to assess servicers before halting the reviews, 4 of the 5 contractors failed to meet accuracy performance standards. Those failures triggered financial penalties totaling approximately $850,000. 2 servicers performed poorly enough to receive the maximum allowable penalty. Yikes. The Department of Education's independent financial auditor separately reported as recently as January of 2026 that the department continued to have a material weakness related to the reliability of its student loan data, a significant red flag from an agency's own watchdog. So the difference between loan servicer data and studentaid.gov data has been well documented on social media too. On Reddit, for example, borrowers consistently ask questions about discrepancies between the two, like payment due dates and loan status issues. Kind of basic data. Data provided as evidence in a recent lawsuit against Mohila shows that several loan servicers are having call time issues that could be impacting borrowers as well. But without these independent audits that actually listen to borrower calls and review the data, the federal government has no way to verify that the problems it previously identified has been resolved, or that there aren't any new ones that have come about. The federal accountability gap beyond borrower servicing issues, the GAO flagged a fiscal concern for taxpayers. The oversight gap doesn't just affect borrowers. No, it means FSA may be overpaying servicers for subpar performance. You want to cut the waste? Cut the stinking servicer people. The financial penalties built into the servicer contracts exist because servicer performance has historically been uneven. They stink. So without assessments, FSA cannot accurately determine whether servicers are actually meeting their contractual standards. That means the penalty mechanism, the government's primary financial lever over servicer behavior, has been disabled. It's not like this hasn't happened before either. Navient was banned from federal student loan servicing, and it recently paid out $100 million in borrower compensation for it. The GAO recommends that FSA resume both the accuracy and call quality assessments. The agency formally disagreed with that recommendation, stating, quote, "Those metrics do not meaningfully measure servicer performance and will not improve the financial health of the federal student loan portfolio," end quote. However, It's kind of hard to see how getting borrowers quickly re-enrolled in repayment plans would not improve the financial health of the federal student loan portfolio, especially because almost 7 million Save Plan borrowers might need some assistance to do so in the coming months. Getting pretty close to July. Here's what this means for borrowers right now. Okay. The practical consequences of inaccurate servicer records can range from inconvenient to financially damaging, according to the GAO. Errors can result in borrowers being billed for incorrect amounts or just given wrong repayment status. Call quality lapses carry a separate set of risks, too. Borrowers who call their servicer for guidance on repayment plans, loan forgiveness, those types of things might get the wrong information. But you're going to trust the person on the other line. The stakes are especially high right now, too. Some 7 million borrowers who enrolled in the Biden-era Save repayment plan are going to have to change repayment plans soon. Now, to balance it out here, the whole Save thing should never have happened, but that's another discussion. There's also concern that millions of borrowers are in default or approaching it soon. And then, top it all off, starting in July of 26, the OBBBA, yeah, 3 Bs, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, will introduce the new Repayment Assistance Plan, or RAP, while starting to phase out all the others, requiring millions of borrowers to make decisions. The bottom line is this. As Senator Bernie Sanders explains, quote, I'm not going to do his accent. Anyway, the Education Department's refusal to conduct oversight of student loan servicers is a dereliction of duty. Seems like they're all saying the same thing. Because they just get talking points and they repeat it. It's a dereliction of duty, I tell you. I'm gravely afraid. I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to make light of these things. I know if you're in this situation, it is a little bit stressful. It's going to be okay. We're going to be able to provide guidance for you wherever you are in your journey with student loans and your servicer situation. Hit us up on social media. We can help you, give you the resources, the links that you need. You can find this article at thecollegeinvestor.com. Search for us, The College Investor. You're going to find us pretty much anywhere you are hanging out. We're hanging out there too. We would love to help you. That's why we're here. Regardless of my sarcasm, sorry. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by today. We hope this show was helpful, and maybe you got a little chuckle out of it. But anyway, we'll talk to you again real soon.